Okay, Peter, we've had to come into the Lich Gate because it's very windy in the graveyard today, so just in order so you can hear us, we found a lovely grave there, World War One grave, so Peter knows the story about that, so I'll let him explain. Peter?
Okay, what it is, it's a family grave. It's the Mr. John Story and his wife Elizabeth Story. It's their family grave. Right. But on the grave also, Paul, is the name of their son who was lost in the First World War, Gronwy Story.
Right.
Gronwy, he was living in London when war broke out and he volunteered. Most young men did. Yeah. He joined the Queen Victoria Rifles, which was part of a massive regiment, the London Regiment. He was living in Bowes Park in London. Fortunately, he was killed in 1917. He went through a number of years with the Rifles, but he met with death September 1917. He has no known grave, which is always very... it's tough, isn't it, when you've got nowhere where you can actually visit. But his name is commemorated not just on his family grave, but also on the Tyne-Cot Memorial near Passchendaele, which is where he lost his life.
Very enjoyable it's been. And now the sun is coming out. Yes. You enjoyed it?
I've wanted to do this for a long time. Now, as you know, I've researched the names. I've got information on all the names. I think it's important that their memory is retained, don't you, Paul?
Yeah.
You know,
Certainly,
to leave the country and never come home again.
Yeah.
It's a big sacrifice.
Yeah. Especially when there's no record of them. You know, they're just forgotten about, but not in a lot of people's hearts.
And
their
not
families.
No, indeed, and not in a lot of places. I'm very impressed with Henllan that they do retain not just the War Memorial itself. It's a shocking wind.
Wind issues today.
Not just on the War Memorial itself, but also in the church. What is interesting is that the names on this memorial are also on the Denbigh War Memorial. Yeah. So if you were to go into town and have a look there, you'll also see the names there. Apart from Mowbray Cole, who's not on that for some reason. Not quite sure why.
Excellent. So thanks for the enjoyable day.
We've had a good day. We've done some good research.
Yeah.
Interesting place, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Henllan?
Very nice. Seems to have stood still, apart from a few buildings that have gone up new, but it's roughly the same. As it was years ago.
Well, absolutely, and that's what we want. We want the retention of that history, don't we?
Yeah. As I said earlier in the film, especially with all the, if you can hear me, with all the digital equipment we've got now, there's no reason why people shouldn't restart. If you don't, start recording now your history.
Yes.
Because even though you may not want to watch it, it's for your children and their children and their children. And then one day you'll be glad you've done it.
Well, one day, Paul, I know it's unlikely, but we'll be old. We'll be old men. And people will say, well, who's this old man and who's this young man? And they'll say, well, this was Paul when he was young. Like, we're about, what are we now, mid-20s?
Yeah. 21 last week.
Oh, really? Congratulations. It's nice to look back on, possibly. Apart, of course, from fashion.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because I remember you in those flares, and they were a mess, weren't they?
Yes, they were, yes. And that was only yesterday. But, do you think we should lie in the church?
I think we'll have to go to confession after.
We'll leave it at that then, shall we?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank
nice
you.
to see you again.
And you. So, until the next time. Bye-bye.
We will remember.